All right, a daycare worker is caught roughing up a little boy, kicking, slapping him, and somehow she's not being charged with the crime. You wonder, how does that happen? Let's check out the surveillance video. It's the YMCA in Frederick County, Maryland. You saw him, her, a 21-year-old daycare worker, slam the kid to the chair. She's kind of fighting with him, scrapping back and forth. Let's move on to some other shots here. You kind of see her kicking at him a little bit. There it is there. You see a couple kicks in, and then she's going to look away, then give him the little swat upside the head right there. All right, the grand jury saw this and decided not to indict her. She's not facing a single charge for this. The YMCA fired her. But is that enough? Joining me to talk about it, attorney John Richardson. All right, John, so we get another look at that. Is the firing enough? What are your thoughts?
After watching the video, Mike, I think something's rotten in Denmark here. I mean, I thought there was... It's one thing if you slam a child and dangle them by their arms if they're 10, but this is a 2-year-old. It's a baby. If you did that to my cousin, my nephew Rocco, I'd have words with you. Mm-hmm. I think it's important to note that the prosecution in this case in Maryland, they can file charges without going to the grand jury. And it is alleged that this mother came to them and threatened a lot of prosecutors in that office. I just find it interesting that they submitted to the grand jury when they didn't have to, because after watching the video, I gotta say, she's guilty of something. She's in any jurisdiction, that's at least misdemeanor battery, which is on one and touching. I mean, if I touch your behind at a movie theater in line, that's a crime, and this isn't a crime?
Yeah, here's what they were looking at. Felony child abuse charge and a misdemeanor assault charge. Now, the felony, I believe under state law, punishable by 15 years in prison.
Right.
And the assault charge, a misdemeanor, carries possible $2,500 fine and 10 years incarceration. Is this a felony? I'm not sure it's a felony. I mean, I think obviously she's got anger issues. She shouldn't be around our kids. And that's what I'm fearful of. Has enough been done so where she's not going to show up at the daycare center across the street?
That's the thing. Criminally, it's over. She can go get a state license if she goes to school and become a child psychologist, become a pediatric nurse. The prosecution, I don't think, tried to win their case. It's one thing. How can and I don't blame the grand jury either. How can a grand jury indict someone if a prosecutor doesn't believe in their case? Obviously, I wasn't there, but something is rotten.
Hey, we got about 30 seconds. I want to hit on that about the victim's mom chiming in. Does that happen? Where a victim's mom, somebody meddles in what the prosecution wants to do and affects their job, and they didn't really do their job right here as they went after this girl?
It happens every day. You have, and the victim is the child, first of all.
Yeah.
As a prosecutor, I had victim family members who dealt drugs, who called and threatened people, and that's real life. Sure, these are publicly elected officials, these prosecutors, and they gave it to the grand jury, and I think played it smart.
Right.
You know, I've been in a situation. I've seen prosecutors say, "Hey, look, I don't like my victim. I don't want to do this to your guy on the record. I'm going to say XYZ, but I don't really intend to win here today."
Yeah. It's just disturbing to think that she's going to get off. The firing, yes, but I want something on her record to make sure she's not going to be handling our kids elsewhere, and she's going to rough up somebody else's kid down the road. She needs some help, and hopefully she'll get it. John Richardson, appreciate your time. Thanks, John.